Samurai Talk. It feels nice to have Robert Whiting back to our studio. In 36 years, it's been a natsukashi feeling. It's nice to have you back. And you are still alive and kicking. You appeared on number one Shimbun. Can baseball go global? Well, that might stop the hearts of many a Japanese fan because everyone says baseball is already global. But this one, Commissioner Rob Manfred.
Yes.
And you are having second thoughts about the baseball's popularity. What's the problem?
Well, the Major League Baseball started the World Baseball Classic, and there's 62 countries involved, and they come down to this final round with 16 teams, and they have a playoff. But the games have always been more popular in Japan, Korea, Taiwan, than they have been in the United States. Some of the highest rated sports programs in Japan have been WBC games. But in America, nobody watches them.
You mean ESPN?
They stopped broadcasting.
Stop broadcasting. Why?
Because the ratings were so low.
Why the rating is so low?
Because these games, they take place in March when spring training is just starting. It starts later in America, at the end of February, early March. And it's a time where players are rounding into shape. See, one of the differences between Japan and America is Japan, they take baseball more seriously. It's almost a year-round sport, where in America it's a seasonal sport. And so training starts in Japan with this Jishu Tore, this group voluntary training, and then spring camp starts in February 1st. And the players are on the field from morning till night, and then they have indoor workouts. Whereas America, it starts a month later, and they're on the field for 2 or 3 hours. It's very relaxed. The idea is to round into shape. Japanese report to camp, they're already in top shape, so they're ready to go. And so they take the WBC more seriously than Americans do.
I have a slightly different opinion, Bob. Americans, in your opinion, it is seemingly taking it less seriously.
Well,
they have a rhythm, see?
It's their own rhythm. They take it. In Japan, when you show up for spring camp, you're supposed to be in top condition from day one.
Right.
In America, when you show up for spring camp, you're in 50% condition. And then you slowly work yourself, and the idea is you get your peak on opening day. Whereas, so Japanese teams are ready to go, they're ready to play in the WBC. And the top stars in America have never wanted to play in the WBC, many of them, because they're afraid of getting injured. It's happened that some of the big stars have gotten injured and they've had to miss a lot of games.
That's a healthy attitude on the part of the professional baseball players.
Yes, it is, but then what's the point of having the World Baseball Classic? I think in the future, from now on, that there should be a rule that the commissioner's office chooses the players in both America and Japan and all the other countries, and the players have to play. The teams can take care of insurance or whatever, but they should be ordered to play so that the best teams are on the field, the absolutely best players. You know, you had Japan this last year, this last WBC series. There was only one major leaguer on the Japanese team. That was Aoki. Darvish didn't pitch. Tanaka Masahiro didn't pitch. Iwakuma didn't pitch. Uehara didn't pitch. And to me, that's kind of a betrayal to the fans. It's an insult to the fans. So you're not looking at the best team. So what it comes down to is the World Baseball Classic is an exhibition.
Well, it's beyond exhibition.
And people
Baseball in Japan, is, by and large, is taken for granted as a way of life.
Yes.
Because it means a 24-hour-a-day commitment.
That's right.
So you are asking Ichiro to stop rehearsing and practicing. But he's supposed to bunt, hit, steal, everything. Everyone is watching them. Then he's taking a holiday, the day off. That would be a disillusionment of the Japanese fans. How do you counter that?
Well, I don't counter it. I think the Japanese approach to baseball is better than the American approach to baseball. And Ichiro is the symbol of this, a supreme symbol of the Japanese approach to training. It's total dedication. He goes to the ballpark. He starts his training 2 or 3 hours before the game. It's a really hard workout. All the major leaguers look at him and they go, what is going on? What is he doing? Nobody trains the way he does. I think it's good. I think the Japanese system is the best system.
Really?
I would like to see it.
I like to counter your argument. Reading this sporting news.
Right.
And from cover to cover, there was no mention about the Japanese players.
Right.
Ichiro, no, nothing. Even in the Seattle Mariners, no name of Ichiro.
Well, it's because he's in Miami now.
Miami.
So why would the Seattle Mariners
I think it Miami. There was no mention. There was no mention about Ichiro, or for that matter, no Japanese big name players.
Well, I'm sure if you look at the Yankees, you will see the name Tanaka in there. If you look at the Texas Rangers, you will see the name Darvish. Ichiro is a bench warmer now. He's a part-time player. And he does, Miami Marlins have one of the best outfields in the major leagues. They're young, strong, powerful. Ichiro doesn't have a chance. You know, he's 42 years old. He's 43 now.
43,
He
yes.
says he wants to play until 50, but he'll have to come back to Japan to do that, I think.
There will be beneath him to come back.
Well,
They might welcome it. The
We'll
Blue
see.
Waves, welcome home.
I think that's entirely possible. I think he should be the one to coach the Japanese Olympics.
He should be the one, but what about the other players going to the United States in droves, making money or reputation for challenge or whatever you call it? Do you think the Japanese baseball players will be on a par with the major league players?
No.
No, yes.
I think if you took a Japanese all-star team, the best players, and they played against an American all-star team, I think they're the same, equal ability. The difficulty with Japan is there's no depth. All the major league teams have
Depth.
200 people under contract.
Where
to
does
have
the
a minor league system.
depth come from? Because the layers.
Because it's a business in America. They turned it in. They know how to make money, so they invest in players. In Japan, there's only one minor league team, and they don't have a multi-tiered minor league system. You can see the difference between the Americans and the Japanese in this one statistic. In 1992, the total gross revenue of Major League Baseball was $1.5 billion. In Japan and the NBP, it was exactly the same.
Wow.
Now,
What?
25 years later,
Yeah.
the total gross revenue in the major leagues is $10 billion. In Japan, it hasn't changed. That's because they build new stadiums, they make contracts and deals with the home city, it brings a lot of people in. There are like 23 new stadiums built. They have a media, merchandising.
I really had to contradict you, Bob, but because the American leagues, major league making more money, doesn't mean that the baseball per se is gaining in popularity throughout the world. Look at soccer is coming up.
Baseball is more popular now around the world than it's ever been before.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's right. And in
Because
fact,
soccer is going fast.
Major League Baseball just signed,
But the
$1
older
billion
people,
contract in China.
Yes.
with
What about
Jack
the
Ma.
young people in Japan? The young kids in their 20s, the 30s prefer the soccer. Doesn't that intimidate you?
Look at Koshien baseball. Look at every year in the summer when the Koshien baseball tournament is on, everything stops in Japan and people watch the games. That's an
So
indication
there will
that
be the
baseball
fever
is still popular.
after normal fever and Ichiro fever keeps coming back. In your
Because
opinion?
high school baseball has a long tradition. It's extremely popular.
You might call it the death of the Japanese baseball, high school baseball.
I wouldn't call it that at all. I'd say Japanese baseball is just as popular. The attendance has gone up.
Okay, Bob.
It's higher than it's ever been.
Yeah, so could you discuss it? We have only 3 minutes left. Could you discuss your frame of mind about the meaning of a baseball or the future? Whatever, 3 minutes, and I will shadow you.
Well, I've always looked. I don't consider myself a sports
私
writer.
自身がスポーツライターという気持ちはないんですけどね。
I've looked at baseball as a
まあ
way
野
to
球という
understand
のは
Japanese
日本の
culture.
文化を知る上の一つの道具に過ぎないと思ってますね。日本の社会を。So,
So because you can look at baseball
だから
and you
野球
compare
の見方は
American
ですね、
and
アメリ
Japanese
カの
baseball,
野球と比較して、
and you can see the
なん
difference
か
in
その違い
American
の中
Japanese
から日本
society.
というこういうものか、アメリカの社会でこういうものかっていう感覚がつかめるわけですね。
On
どう
the
する
one hand, you have
So-
the focus on doryoku and
まあ
law,
努力
effort
だと
and
か
harmony.
和を大切にしようとか
and discipline.
我慢の精神とか言ってますよ
In
ね。
America, you
だからア
have
メリカでは
individualism.
それ個人主義というのは先に来て
And personal
そういうのはないんですね。個人のやる気
completely different.
そういうものが中心になってますか
And
ら
you can
少し
see
違
that
い
in
ますよ
every
ね。
aspect of
まあ
Japanese
日本
society.
の社会を見ますとそういうことがありますよね。
In
い
the
かに我
schools,
慢する学校もそうでしょう。
And the corporates,
それから社会の仕組み、会社
salaryman culture.
職場、そういう時サラリーマンのコーチなんか見ると、なんかそういう我慢をしなきゃいけないというよ
You
う
can
な。
see it even in the entertainment
まあ
industry.
芸能界でも同じだと思うんですよ
You can see it
ね
in。
やはり言いたいことは言わない。相撲も社会も同じですね。
All sports
やっ
have
ぱりあ
become
らゆ
martial arts.
るやっぱり野球というのは武士道化してしまうんですよ
And you can
ね。
even see it in
こ
the
れは
Yakuza
ですね、
world.
まあヤクザの社会でも同じですね。
So
だ
I
から
think,
私が言いたいのは
it's
ですね
very clear.、
まあはっきりすること。
and so
言いま
I'm
すと
very
私自身個人
grateful
のことを
that
言
I
い
had
ま
a
すと、
chance to see
まあ日
Japanese
本
baseball
で野球を見たということは私にとって良好でしたね。
because it helped me
なぜかという
understand
と、いやこれ
Japan
でようやく日本というのが分かり始めたという感じです
and
ね。
my perception of the
で
world
私
has
の世界に
become
対する見方、世界観というものもすで
much
に
deeper and wider
影響を受けました。深く、
because
しか
of
も広く
living in Japan
あ、世界というのはどうなのか
following baseball.
日本のおかげだと思ってますね。
So, and let's see what else.
それから他に何かあったかな。
You asked me what I'm doing. I'm writing a book
今
about
本を
the
今書いてるんですけどね。
Tokyo
そ
frame
の
between the
東
two
京
Olympics.
はオリンピックの2つの狭間にある
I came here in
東京とい
Japan
うものをしまして、
just
その
before
最
the
初は、
64 Olympics.
64年のオリンピックの前に日本に上陸いたし
And
ま
I
し
saw
た。
the
それ
greatest
からです
urban
ね、
transformation
も
in
う
the
その
history of the
交
world.
通事情も変わりまして、それ歴史も勉強しました。
Japan went
そ
from
し
a
て
country
日
with
本はですね、
low crime
もう非常に犯罪の少ない社会だったんですよ、私の記憶
and
では。
so
ところ
before
が
the
今、
Olympics,
随分変わってきましたよね、オリンピック前の日本と。
there
オリン
was
ピ
a
ックの
very
後、
there was a
そ
lot
の
of
中に
corruption.
ね、
There
や
was
は
a
りこ
lot
の
of
腐敗っていうのが
disease.
出てきまして、
It
病
was
気
a
も増えて
third
きた。
world
それ
country,
から第
a
三
backwater.
国に
But in the
追われ
span
て
of
きて、後進国から出てきまして、
Japanese
日本の文化
built,
そのものが
10,000 new
風俗化したり、それからまあ1万ぐらいのビルが建
They,
ってきた
they
りです
put
ね。
22 expressways and highways.
まあハイウェイもどんどん出てきまして、
They put a monorail,
交通網が出てきて
a bullet
しかもも
train,
うモノレール、それから新幹線から
and
あらゆる
half a
ところで
dozen,
日本がどんどん来
five-star
まして、
hotels.
それもホテルの乱立ぶりですね。
New
私を見て
Otani
日本変わりましたね。ニューオータニホテル
So,
大倉。
in
ましても非常に国際化しましてね、58年の頃っていうのはなんだ日本はっていうような気持ちがあって、観光客もなかったですよね。
Everybody wanted to come to
6年ぐ
Japan.
らいになってオリンピックの後ですね、
And the
なんか
James
ぞろぞろ日
Bond
本へ行きま
movie
して、
people
ジェーム
chose
ス
Japan
ボンドも
to
映画化
make
されたり
their,
して、あ、日本は
base their
面白い
film in
国だな
Tokyo,
というわけで、日本を東京を中心にした映画化も進んでまいりました。
And so that's a remarkable
だからこれはです
transformation.
ね、もう日本がこのように大きな変化を下げてきましたわけですけれども、これを見ましてこれから第三世界、まあテクノロジーの面でもですね、世界に目をぐるぐるさせるほど飛躍したことを私は考えて持って見てますが、だからこの建築が進んでますよね。なんでこんなにビルがどんどん建ってるのか、東京全部ご覧になったら分かりますけどね、この夜になると不夜城に変わってるじゃありませんか。そういうことはなかったですね。もうとにかく寝られない。もうカーテンを真っ黒にしないと寝られないし、しかもやかましでボンボンボンボンね、建築やりまして寝られないじゃないですか。それほど変わってきましたからね、やっぱり耳栓をしなければ眠れないという時代になりましたね。だからまあこれは素晴らしいこと、日本というのは素晴らしいことです。歴史的にもですね、これは日本というのは素晴らしい国だと思う。反面、だからその映画、記録映画っていうのを今考えてるんですが、65年のね、64年のオリンピックから今アメリカのテレビ局がどんどん進出してますね。その間の歴史を書いてみたいという気持ちに駆られていますね。
So I'm looking forward to the 2020 Olympics.
それからもうオリンピックを来るのが待ち遠しいような気持ちですね。
And I hope that there's one difference.
まあ一つ付け加えて一つの64年のか今日の中で大きな違いがあるとすればですね、オリンピック、東京オリンピックで日本の政府の態度がありますね。オクトーバー10月10日から24日に入るかというのは、その頃日本は夏はもう耐えられないぐらい暑くなるということで考えているようですから、これも一つの考慮すべきことだと思いますね。まあ、この猪瀬の時からまあオリンピックに対する熱が加わったと思うんですけどね。もう一度オリンピックをちょっと再考した方がいいんじゃないかな。7月の24年24日から10月の10日に変えるとか、そういう考えもできましたけど、そうするともう少しね、柔和なホッとする時期を迎えることになるんじゃないかという話がありますけども、この一番スポーツマンにとっては非常に理想的な季節だと言えますね。これは嘘ですよ。そんなことありえないと思うんですけども。
Unfortunately, NBC Sports in America controls the scheduling of the
はい、はい、time is out. Thank you very much for your cooperation.
Excellent translation.
Thank you. Michihiro Matsumoto, known as Channel Tokyo, Japan, with Mr. Robert Whiting. Again, thank you.
ありがとうございます。
どうもありがとう。